at an all-time low for nonprofit organizations receiving the donated funds they need every year in order to operate business. With the exception of one nonprofit that actually far exceeded their goals beyond what they ever dreamed of. And that is the American, I knew I was going to get up here and I couldn't remember what the initials stand for, the American Society for Prevention Against Cruelty to Animals, the ASPCA. And that is due to one 30-second commercial that I'm sure you've seen aired on TV with Sarah McLachlan singing Angel as pictures of shelter animals appear on the screen. And that commercial came about quite by accident. That was not even a planned event. And that one commercial brought in over $30 million in less than a year at a time that we're in a recession. And so, of course, now they are continuing that campaign on into 2009 because of its success with new commercials coming out this year. And with that, that just gives you the idea that sometimes the best ideas are never planned and they happen by accident or by a fluke or, you know, just totally unexpected. And since I am part of a rescue group, we also have events from time to time in the Atlanta area to raise funds and more than anything to bring awareness toward the organization and what we're trying to accomplish in our area. And we had an event about 4 months ago over in Sandy Springs, and it was a wine event. It was on a Monday night. It's the only reason I didn't promote it to my Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters. But we had an event, and we had about 125 people attend the event. And part of what I do when we have these events, I do make it my job to introduce myself to every single person there, as I am the president of the organization, and make them aware of what we are wanting to accomplish in the near future in our state of Georgia. And I'm about halfway through the group of meeting people, and I meet a gentleman. His name is Bob Lytle. And Bob Lytle is a very successful entrepreneur in Atlanta, and he's very well connected and the greatest networker you will ever want to meet. So if you're into networking, this is the gentleman that I can hook you together and you will be set for business as far as getting his help. Well, Bob was telling me, after me answering his questions about us, then he was telling me that he had just presented a program to Petco. Petco has a foundation where they give a percentage of what Petco makes, plus they also hold fundraising events throughout the year, and that money goes back out to rescue groups in the area of where their pet stores are located. And he presented a program to them where, and it's called Paw It Forward, where they can generate unlimited amount of dollars into their foundation to go back out into the rescue groups with very little effort. And that idea was to create a band, and the band is called Paw It Forward. In fact, Bob is in the process of trademarking that term, Paw It Forward, which there are lots of other things to come along down the road once this is taken care of. And 100% of the proceeds would go back to the Petco Foundation. And these bands are not for sale yet. They will be in the stores in about 2 weeks. And what you're supposed to do, or the idea behind the band, is to purchase the band, and if you have rescued an animal, or if you have done a kind act for an animal, or you know somebody who's rescued an animal or done a kind act, to buy one and give it to them. But in my case, Bob gave this to me. I was at an event last week, and he presented this to me, and I was very honored, and it was a very moving event for me. But anyways, you place it on your hand, and then what I'm to do is when I come across somebody or meet somebody who has rescued or is thinking of rescuing an animal or purchasing an animal, that they will, I take it off and I give it to them, and then I ask them to give it to somebody else that they meet that also does a kind act for an animal. So the idea is it's a movement towards ending the cruelty to animals in a very distinguished way, that to make this band recognizable so that eventually it'll be so common that when you see it, you'll automatically know that that person has a kind heart towards the animal and has done something nice for an animal. So anyways, the idea is that it's going to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars into the Petco Foundation, that will come back out to rescue groups. And in receiving funds from HECCO, any rescue group is entitled, all you have to do is be a 501c3, and also you must represent one of their 4 R's that is in their mission statement. And it's very simple. Personally, our rescue group incorporates all 4 R's in the rescue pledge. And that is reduce. We're advocates for spay and neuter programs. And 2 is rescue. Think adoption first. And 3 is rehabilitate. We support proper training to preserve the human-animal bond. And 4 is to rejoice. We embrace the healing power of animals. It is our belief that the human-animal bond is necessary to life. But anyways, and it's such a simple thing, and like I say, by purchasing the band, and now you have a heads up on what the band is all about. It can only be purchased in the HECCO stores. And the band also is 100% of the funds goes towards the foundation, which is a very good cause. Thank you.